Shot and check low. Relax yourself and let the sugar load you. Yeah, I got you. Shot and check low. Relax yourself and let the sugar load you. Yeah, keeps you right. Here come a shot and check low. Relax yourself and let the sugar load you. Yeah, I got you. Right. Here come a shot and check low.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to the second segment of the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show, courtesy, of course, of the Big Game Christian Sports Network, presented by the ShakeBack Media Group. Man, once again, it is on. Thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook, YouTube, as well as LinkedIn, Instagram TV, and of course, Twitter. We are steamrolling to 14,000 GOATs. Thank you guys out there for continuing to support the vision that is the Big Game Christian Sports Network, as well as the ShakeBack Media Group. All right, just in case you missed it in the first segment, yeah, history continues to be made as we dove a little bit into the hush money trial involving the 45th president of the United States of America and how that has wound down or has wrapped up or whatever you want to call it. Final arguments were made on Tuesday by both sides. So the jury will have a hand in shaping what will be one of the most important decisions in the criminal justice system in the history of the world. So all eyes and ears will be on that. We also got into a little bit of baseball there towards the end of the first segment. Too good, too bad, and too ugly. We have a honorable mention, too good, that we're going to unveil here in just a second. Later on in the segment, we got Who Hotter Than Me, and then, of course, the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show. Power rankings will be coming down the pike. Before we move any further, though, this second segment, it is being brought to you by Front End Sports. That's right, baby. Founded in 2022, Front End Sports is dedicated to empowering athletes, teams, and organizations with cutting-edge social media, merchandising, and NIL strategies to help your brand through innovative and personalized solutions. Their team consists of experienced professionals. I should say our team because I'm part of the team too. Our team consists of experienced professionals with diverse backgrounds in sports, marketing, design, and technology who all share a passion for helping their clients succeed and unlock their full potential. Make sure you go to frontendsports.com. Again, that is frontendsports.com. Tell them that your boy Willie Epting Jr. told you to holler at them so y'all can set it off. They're doing great things over there for a lot of great people. All right. So before we get to the power rankings, I got a little sniffles going on here, ladies and gentlemen. So don't mind me if you hear me doing that every so often. It is what it is. Life goes on. All right. So before we actually get to the power rankings, my honorable mention, too good. And it's kind of an oxymoron because I don't know if you guys out there know or have heard, but Angel Hernandez has announced his retirement from Major League Baseball officiating or umpiring after 30 years in the game. This is very, very good. As a matter of fact, the reason why it is so good is because it is effective immediately. Now, are we celebrating the career of Angel Hernandez, or are we celebrating the fact that his career is over? I am going to venture to say, baseball fans all over the globe, that it is the latter, because Angel Hernandez has been in the center of so many controversial calls in the years that he has been out there. I mean, this dude, I don't even understand how after 30 years, and even there towards the end, you could say that his vision may not have been what it once was, but how do you explain that in the beginning of his career, when he debuted back in 1991? 62 years he's going out as, and look, his career, ladies and gentlemen, has been mired by several on the field and off the field incidences, if you will. Hernandez worked his last game on May 9th. He was replaced by Lance Burkdale's crew by Jacob Metz. He sued MLB 2017, alleged that league and had engaged in racial discrimination. Whether that's true or not is not my question. How about the times that this dude has messed up like history-making events in the sport? Bad calls. 2018 playoff game. He called 3 balls reversed by replay in the first 4 innings. How does that happen? How does that happen? And then if they want to call it, if they want to call it racial discrimination, fine. I call it pitchers or hitters. You know what? Let's just take it a step further. Let's just call it strike zone discrimination, because this cat, I mean, oh my gosh, Josh Hader and Kyle Schwarber. When Kyle Schwarber did that thing that he did in 2022, when he went up, he went out, he went in, and he went down, and then he went out because he was then thrown out of the game by Angel Hernandez. Look, by and large, man, and all jokes aside, 30 years in one job is a tremendous feat. I don't think anybody is going to miss this cat on the diamond. Of course, we don't know him as a person. I definitely don't. But it's a shame that you're going to be remembered for the calls that you blew as a call, as opposed to the calls that were needed to be made in really, really historical perspectives in terms of what happened during his tenure as a baseball man or baseball official. So effective immediately, he's out of there. And that actually was, I think it was May 9th. So I'm a little late to the party with that. Again, I've been out for the last couple of weeks, but I still wanted to look. I had to put my 2 cents in because there's another one out there too. That, I mean, as a matter of fact, I addressed this a little bit in the last episode, how there's been a lot of calls missed. I mean, like balls and strikes that are obviously either a ball or a strike. I mean, this is the reason why baseball may implement the same thing that's going on in the minors with some sort of computer thingy and they already have it because they show it to us on television every time there's a pitch. When they put the K zone up there, the little box, that tells us right there whether it's a strike or not. So is this something that Major League Baseball could be moving to? I don't know. If it continues the way that it is, and some of these calls can be so egregious, let's just hope that they don't start costing teams games. That would be my concern. If it gets to that point, then yeah, we may have to make some sort of change there in terms of what to do with the balls and strikes that are being called. All right. Big day. It is time, my friend. It is time for the power rankings. Let's go ahead and get it. Hit the music on the other side. Yes. Okay. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but it's all good. Top 5 in the American League, top 5 in the National League, top 10 in the majors. Then we have just a bit outside for both leagues. And of course, we're going to get into that right now. All right. Top 5 in the American League. Let's go bottom up like we normally do. Checking in at number 5, the Minnesota Twins. Checking in at number 4, the Kansas City Royals. Number 3, the defending AL East champion, Baltimore Orioles. Number 2, the currently AL Central leading Cleveland Guardians. Yeah, they're there, and they ain't going nowhere. Under first-year manager Stephen Voigt, it would take an Oakland Athletic to get that team to turn around. I'm just joking. That's a stab at Rachel and at Kate and at Sapphire and all the rest of them up there in Northeast Ohio. But the Guardians are doing their thing for real. And then the number 1 team in the American League, the New York Yankees. We touched on a little bit in the first segment, Juan Soto and what he has meant to the middle of that lineup there in the Bronx, and not just his bat, but how about his glove? I mean, he's made several outfield assists that have ended games and kept the Yankees ahead in games. I didn't think Juan would be balling the way that he is. I thought it might take a little bit of an adjustment. Now I understand that it's still early, but Juan has shown us who he is. He has shown us who he is, and this is exactly who he is is a baller. He's going to end up being one of the top left-handed hitters of all time when he's all done, should he stay healthy. All right, let's run it back. Number 5, we've got the Minnesota Twins. Number 4, we've got the Kansas City Royals. Number 3, the Baltimore Orioles. Baltimore is led, of course, by Gunnar Henderson, who is last year's American League Rookie of the Year, making a play for the MVP this year. I think he's top 3, 2 or 3. He might be the top guy in home runs with 17 as of tape time. Then the Cleveland Guardians. Jose Ramirez was the first player in all of the majors to get the 50 runs batted in 2024. Tristan McKenzie on the bump. I mean, they're out without Shane Bieber, of course, who's gone for the year due to Tommy John surgery. But that offense, man, in Cleveland with Jimenez and Naylor, the Naylor boys, and Josh Naylor, I believe, is like 4th in home runs in the American League with 11 or something to that effect. And the Cleveland Guardians, man, they're putting it together in a way that is not traditionally what we see out of an offense in the American League. They're playing a lot of small ball. They don't have a whole lot of power outside of Naylor and Ramirez, but they just somehow keep scoring runs. And then to the exact opposite, or to the point of the exact oppositeness, the New York Yankees are number 1. And guess what? They ain't even got Garrett Cole back yet. And I think he's coming back maybe within the next 5 to 6 weeks, if not earlier. Jose Trevino is back behind the dish. He went deep last week against, I believe it was against the Twins. So he's back there. Of course, DJ LeMahieu, of course, with Gleyber Torres and Anthony Volpe. And we mentioned Soto. And how about Giancarlo Stanton? And this is a shout out to the dopest barber in the game, Ken Hill, because the Yankees not only are his team, but Giancarlo Stanton is his least favorite player, not just on his team, but probably in the history of the game. And Giancarlo Stanton has been able to stay healthy, relatively healthy, for the entire year, to the tune to where he is up there leading one of the home run leading hitters as well. All right, so again, that's the top 5 in the American League. Just a bit outside Big Day, we have the Seattle Mariners, we have the Texas Rangers, we have the Boston Celtics. Oh my gosh, the Boston Celtics are going to the NBA Finals. We have hashtag Dirty Water. We have the Boston Red Sox, and we have the Detroit Tigers coming in at just a bit outside in the American League. All right, let's swing it over to the National League Big Day, and we're going to go bottom up again. At number 5, I got a tie. The Sands. The Sands are tied at number 5. And who are the Sands? The Franciscos and the Diegos. The Giants and the Padres have come on as of late, especially with the Padres and new manager there, who they got from the Cardinals, Brian Schilt, and San Francisco with the moves that they made in the offseason. I see them being able to put it together. And we had discussed this a lot during the offseason, particularly up to and right before the regular season started, that the National League West could be somewhat of a bloodbath, kind of what we expected out of the American League East, but maybe not as much. All right, so number 5, I have tied as the Sands with San Francisco and the Giants. I'm sorry, and the Padres. Number 4, Atlanta Braves. Ronald Acuna Jr. Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. As a baseball fan, I'm sorry. I feel bad for you. You've torn yet another ACL. Obviously, you're going to be out for the year. That is going to do some things to the Atlanta Braves that, I mean, that is a big, big, big blow. And I understand that the Braves still have Matt Olson and all the rest. But when you lose Acuna Jr., who is he's the key that starts your car, gone for the year. It's a terrible situation. Number 3, the Milwaukee Brewers. Number 2, the LA Dodgers are coming in at number 2. And then the number 1 team in the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies. Ranger Suarez. This dude is killing it out there in the city of brotherly love, man. That dude had won 9 of his first 10 starts. I think he has an ERA that's sub 1.75. He's doing things that nobody's ever done before in the sport. All right. One more time. Bottom up. The Sands are tied. San Francisco, San Diego, tied at number 5. Number 4, the Atlanta Braves. Oh my gosh, Braves fans, I know you're sick. Number 3, the Milwaukee Brewers. Let me say this about the Milwaukee Brewers. The Milwaukee Brewers lost their manager to their team, their rival to the south, or I guess it would be this case, the east, on the 94 freeway, the Chicago Cubs. And in his return to Milwaukee as the Cubs manager, Craig Counsell, last year's Brewers manager, was booed. I don't think they care, though. But anyway, Milwaukee is at number 3. Number 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Los Angeles Dodgers, ladies and gentlemen, as of tape time, had lost 5 games in a row. They were embroiled in a doubleheader in New York on Tuesday. The first game, Taylor McGill for the Mets. Yeah, he shut them down. 7 strikeouts. I believe it was in like maybe 6 innings or something to that effect. So, yeah. And then number 1 team, of course, is the Philadelphia Phillies. All right. Hashtag just a bit outside. Big day. Jabo. We have the Chicago Cubs. We have the Arizona Diamondbacks. And we have the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, the St. Louis Cardinals, we know what they have in terms of Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. We know what they have there. The Diamondbacks, as I stated in the first segment, you got to believe that they're going to turn it around because they don't have anything that they didn't have last year. As a matter of fact, they made upgrades and improvements on their roster. So I don't expect that they will remain in this position going forward. You know, you still have they're still looking up at San Francisco and San Diego. I'm not quite really sold on San Diego, but they've been playing some good ball the last week and a half or so. So they deserve to be here in the top 5. And then the Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs have one of the best rotations in all of the majors. They just need to get their act together offensively. And if I'm not mistaken, either Cody Bellinger is out or he actually may have just come back. I'm not exactly 100% sure, but a lot is going to depend on the health of that guy. And Seiya Suzuki, dude, you need to step up more. You are going to be mentioned in the MVP conversation at the beginning of the year by some folks. So whatever it is that you're not doing, you need to get to doing. All right, one more time. Hashtag Jabo, just a bit outside. St. Louis Cardinals, Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Chicago Cubs. So we got the top 10 in the majors. We're going to get to it on the third segment on the other side of the break. I'm not going to start it over here. But what I will say is this, is that this baseball season, we've seen so many injuries, and then the latest big name, of course, being Acuna Jr. ACL for him, his second time. He obviously is out for the season. I don't know what needs to happen in these training rooms for these franchises in order for these injuries to not keep on piling up. But something has to be done. Something has to be done quick. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the second segment. Y'all come on back on the other side of the break. We're going to finish up the top 10 in the majors, talk a little bit of history, hashtag look ahead, and we're going to bounce. Big day, Willie Epting Jr., hashtag Brothers of Baseball Show. Y'all come back and holler at us.